So I'll call the June 6th City of Portland Planning Commission meeting to order at 5:18. First item on the agenda is 7779 Main Street site plan review. Is anyone here to talk on that behalf? And want to come up and speak and tell us who you are? Sure.
Keith Fox, one of the owners of the property 7779 Main Street. I guess in 2018 purchased the property and applied for plans to renovate the building, turn third floor, which were 2 apartments and 4 apartments, and then add 2 apartments on the back of the building on the ground floor. Yeah, submitted everything, got the building permit, did it all, engineers, drawings, stamped, approved, did the work, been operating that way ever since, done inspections when they need to get done, and we've got the property under contract, and we're going to close, and when we apply for the zoning permit, there's some discretion, and I was told that I came here to try to get it resolved, because you can't close on the sale without it. Because the zoning says 8 apartments and there's 10 total for the building. And I think the issue is that the 2 downstairs apartments on the rear of the building.
Okay.
Are these the 2 storefronts? North of the Chamber of Commerce?
Yes,
Right, 2.
yeah, it's Premier Roofing was our
Yeah.
previous tenant, and then Loudon Vintage are the storefronts, but then on the back of the building are 2 apartments.
And the 2 apartments exist there right now?
Yeah.
So if I might add,
Please.
the certificate of occupancy was issued in error by the city of Cortland. Should never have been done without a use variance and site plan review for those 2 back apartments. This was done before my time.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, we're trying to correct the situation.
Right.
And honestly, we were gonna do a law change at one point to allow this. For handicap accessible apartments. One of the reasons we were doing the law change was because he's got 2 handicap accessible apartments sitting right there.
Right.
And
This kind of ties in with the 4th item on our agenda as far as our recommendation to this town council, whether they should go along with this or not, right? That's pretty much what.
no,
This is-
this isn't a central business.
It's a similar
operating,
thing.
It's similar, but the zone change is. To allow it,
Wouldn't that rectify the situation if they change the law?
no, not,
There's
that's why we're changing.
Okay.
So we need to do a variance, is that what?
Well, use variance.
Yeah.
There's a special meeting of the ZBA after you guys are done today.
Whether they grant the use variance?
Yes.
Okay. So they're just looking for a recommendation then, we're
Oh,
not,
what they're looking for is because they're technically, this is the correct way to do
right,
it. It needs to go through
us and then them,
site plan review because there's technically a pedestrian change because they're entering into the back of the building now.
okay.
Wait, with the apartments there already, they weren't entering through the back of the building?
Yeah, they are, but again, understand that these apartments were never approved.
Right.
So you're going through the complete approval process for these 2 dwelling units, like they aren't there.
Got it.
We're trying to correct the problem.
Okay,
But not the fault of the applicant.
No,
Right.
That's
right.
I submitted everything.
Supposed to be following.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
this is
this process should have been through
Not-
before they were built and.
not
it was
the
their
applicant's omission.
Right, I mean, I would assume accessible housing downtown is very limited because there's no elevators or anything.
Exactly, so that is why,
Yeah, so-
that is why, if you guys recall, we were discussing this back. 2 years ago, when we were doing a bunch of law changes, and that was actually supposed to be. In the law change, and it was inadvertently omitted from the zoning law change we did 2 years ago. So, but these were built prior to that, and these are actually what triggered that law change.
okay.
That never happened. So we're just trying to fix this after the fact.
Okay,
Cause you'd like those two apartments back, cause it's a change in what you can get for that building.
so really, we're looking for a site plan review for 10 units instead of 8 that were originally
Exactly.
approved. Okay,
Yes.
so is everybody clear on that?
So clear with that,
All
yeah,
right,
I'm in favor of it.
all right, does anyone have any questions for the applicant? At this point?
No, seems pretty clear.
Straightforward.
I mean, the one require accessibility features to be maintained for the life of the units. I think that
Right,
given that exemption because they are accessible, so it makes sense.
right, all right,
Right, it can't be changed back.
right. All right, can I have a motion then to approve this, site plan review for 7779 Main Street?
With the stipulation,
With the stipulation that, well, these 3 things be followed, entrance units in the rear. Entrance and egress paths should be kept clear of storage. Parking, although parking is not permitted in central business district, consideration should be given to the additional parking that could be needed. And thirdly, require accessibility features to be maintained for life of the. So let's make sure we get those 3 things.
okay with you?
I believe so, yeah. Agree.
All right, we need a motion.
Make a motion.
I saw Mike's hand, Brendan, you can be second.
Okay,
Further discussion? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion was granted.
And you,
so now the zoning's gonna come in here after us tonight?
Yep.
And get this moving forward.
Yes.
Joe,
Efficiency.
you make the motion.
Mike made a motion, Brendan seconded it. Yeah.
So,
All right, second item on our agenda is site plan review for tax ID number 76.83-01-01.000. The applicant CT Solar 8 seeks approval of site plans on a parcel along, this should be east side, we were talking about this east side of 81, right? Yes, because the west side would put it over where the McDonald's.
It's to the west side of the property.
Well, it's the west side of the property, but the way this reads, it looks like it's the west side of 81, but it's not, correct? I just want
so it's
to,
a narrow,
I don't want to see power lines going across 81, what I'm trying to avoid here.
Okay,
Does that make sense? Because we're not gonna put anything across the other side of 81.
is it, okay,
Like Mike said, he pointed out on the map, you can see what they meant is west of the existing property, solar panels, and they're just gonna extend that and start connecting.
okay, I may, as, when I looked at the map, I thought it was going.
Well, is anybody here to talk about this, Ryan? Well, come on, because I don't wanna
Yeah, we're
push something and
speculating.
find out we're gonna have wires going across.
I'm-
81, you know? We have a hard enough time getting the
I mean.
trucks underneath the bridge up in
Yeah,
Liverpool, you know?
Day,
We don't need power lines across.
No, we're not having power lines, it's pretty, it's
Okay.
a lot more simple than that.
All right,
So I'm Andrew Day, we own the land, which is to the west of the Casey property.
that's what Mike pointed out. I mean, it's-
And so, and we had, developed and, we have a tenant, DSD Renewables, who owns that solar farm, and we just have the land. And then we own the land just to the north, which is in Cortlandville, right on the property there. And so what we are asking to do is to, we're work with Mr. Casey, who's our neighbor, just to have, because we have some solar panels going in on the Cortlandville property that we got approved. That we can put,
Connected.
yeah, we could put an access road on the Casey property with 5 power poles. That would connect to the Cortlandville.
Makes much more sense, okay.
And so instead of, it's just shifting it from. It's just having the option to shift it from, our property just across the property line.
Okay. Are any questions on this site plan review? Anybody want to know before we move on this?
The parcels between the TF Neoga and 81,
trying to figure out exactly,
no?
So the Mr. Casey's parcel is a little bit strange because the Mr. Casey's parcel is the same parcel, but 81 goes through the middle of it, so there's a little bit on the 81 side of it and a little bit on
if
the,
I may, can you just kind of point that out for me?
yes.
If you don't know. Just
So it is
clarification, that
misrepresented.
Joe already has.
I noticed it.
it on it.
So basically,
Basically adjacent to.
where, let's see. So this is all of our, so Casey kind of comes here.
Yeah.
And so this is, would be like where the existing solar
Right.
is right there. You know, this is Cortlandville up here.
Yeah,
Mr. Casey owns all of this land here.
yeah.
And this parcel extends across 81, like a section over here, so it's all the same parcel. But it's the east side.
So it'll be over here.
So if the solar arrays right here,
It'll be adjacent to where.
it's just adjacent. to
So where they already
It's just
are.
a simple access with a few. Little access from Cortlandville.
Yeah, bingo. That kills it.
All right, anyone else have questions? You're free, tell me around.
Yeah, so are the additional panels on the new lot, are those in or they're going?
In Cortlandville, they're gonna go in.
And that's gonna double the size of what's there close, maybe not quite,
Not quite.
right?
You gotta go to the Cortlandville.
We already have.
All right.
All right, any other questions or comments?
What's the brook fluter? It's the endangered animal that's listed in. Environmental, and see that, or environmental.
You familiar?
That might be a fish, like a shrimp. Say it's a bird, alter again.
Just curious. I don't think,
But what they're approving is this little tiny.
yeah, I don't think that.
Right.
I don't think
So
that-
there's-
I just
there's gonna
curious.
work for the solar farm.
What's on,
Already got.
Yeah.
So.
what's on high elevation? Sorry.
Any other questions? All right, can I get a motion to approve the site plan for, I'm not gonna repeat that, you can see that sheet, tax ID number 76-3000.
I so move.
Chris, on a motion, I have a second. Get everybody.
Seconded.
All right, Jim, all right, further discussion.
I do have one thing.
Yeah,
If you have any intention in the future of putting in any. And energy storage systems, you're gonna have to come back to this board and get an operating permit.
Yeah, no, we don't have any plans at this point to do that, but if we did.
Come back again.
Yeah.
All right. All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries.
So this went to the county, you're already done, I'm just curious for Roy, this already went to county?
Yeah, they.
Yeah, I see Tricia's name and Chris Jenkins, who actually was one of my students at Binghamton.
Oh, really?
Cool.
Thank you.
The GIS. All right, I think you're all set.
All right.
All right. thank
Thanks
you.
for luck.
Thank you.
All right, our third item on the agenda. Is 160 Clinton Ave, site plan review, property owner, South City Development LLC. Seeks site plan approval for the purpose of renovating a commercial space for a Goodwill store next to Ollie's. Proposed work, you can see the rest of the proposed work gives you the specifics. Is anyone here to talk on this piece?
He is not, but I can speak for him.
All right.
Okay.
So they're, the only exterior work they're gonna be doing, there's a. Lighted sign at the front of the building. In a GB1 district and shopping centers, there is no. Max square footage, so you're gonna worry about that if it's GB1 a shopping center.
So we have parameters to work with or just leave it open?
There is no
There's
parameter.
no parameter per se.
The. Wall signs and shopping center, there's no size.
Okay,
The back of the building knows what they're adding on a certain square footage and the pictures are there, they're adding on a
like a loading dock.
Yeah,
I guess that.
loading dock back there, and it's gonna be kind of like it's gonna be a Goodwill shop,
Right,
Where's it going in relation to Ollie's?
right next to Ollie's.
You're facing Ollie's.
The Dollar General? Oh,
Okay,
So actually, it's a good thing, because for those of us who lived here basically our entire lives, this will be the first time in a very long time that an entire shopping center.
Been full, right?
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm happy to see it.
yeah, me too. It's good.
Is that being used as storage right now? Is it that space?
No, it's empty.
It's empty.
All right, can we get a motion for 160 Central Ave, the Goodwill store that they want to put in next to Olive's?
I'll move.
Brendan, that was you, second,
second,
Amy, all right, further discussion.
Just, with the loading dock, does that impact egress back there at all? Like, there's double doors right there. I mean, if there's a truck in there and a dumpster.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
That kind of, it's not a problem. So,
Any other questions? Here.
is this locally owned facility or not?
Relax, it will.
Cause I didn't know,
we just Connecticut,
is he?
look like. that.
Well, he's talking about the,
The owner of Goodwill.
Yeah,
Salt City out of Syracuse.
out of Syracuse, that's what I wondered.
Probably the name.
Abe Morocco, he's a
He's a
commercial real estate
Okay.
developer, he's got places in A Bay, he's got places
Okay.
up
Okay.
Binghamton, he owns all these shopping centers everywhere.
All right, any other questions or comments, concerns?
Oh, it's a good thing, development.
All right, all those in favor of the site plan review for 160 Clinton Ave, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, site plan, carries. All right, fourth item on the agenda is just a recommendation, looking for a recommendation, how you guys feel about, making some of these properties, these first floor properties, residential units by law, which would have to go to the common council. So I guess what we'd have to do is have a little discussion at first, and then make a recommendation.
The idea, right, is to move into, smart cities, right, to, with the zoning, but, Brian, I'd just be curious as to your thoughts on, Bo Harbin's
I
email.
read Bill Hartman's email, understand that anything that's a current use. Will be, once this law changes, will still be allowed to exist unless the property goes vacant, so if they do sell Thomas Tire. They're gonna be able to sell it as a garage, and as long as it doesn't go vacant, so it's still gonna be able to maintain those uses.
For it has now, yeah.
Okay,
Secondly, there are business types that are allowed in R4 districts.
Yeah.
Still, so it's not like it's gonna be specifically earmarked. For residential, the big thing is we just had someone have to pay for a use variance all the way down the other end,
Main Street.
Main Street on South Main. That's really never been a central business district. And if you walk up that street from that particular property, the whole side that I suggested making those changes to, there may be one or two buildings there that have a storefront. That theoretically, if they ever left, you can't use it. Whereas the upstairs are already apartments.
Yeah.
And why not be able to convert those first floors, those first floor storefronts into apartments? That's the ones on Main Street. The ones that are off of Main Street that I made the changes to. They're not even in essential business, they're just behind it, and it's kind of, and I just like
A couple of them.
15 Tompkins.
Right.
I mean, it's already an apartment building, why essential business? So the only other issues that Mr. Harbin had one on where the dog grooming place is on
South Main.
South Main.
South Main, yeah.
yeah, 150.
Again, that's completely, if you look at where that sits, there's a multi-residential building here, there's a multi-residential building there, and that dog grooming sits right between.
Right.
If that ever went up, it could still be an office, it could still be a personal or professional office. Or they could change it to a single unit apartment. Right now, they can't because it's in essential business and it's store. The same theory we use for the Y. Unfortunately, membership is down, everything, you know, if that, something bad ever happened in that place. What a perfect place for a multi-residential apartment building, even a low-income building, because it's right next to downtown post office services. And it couldn't, you know, that first floor couldn't be used there, and let's go around on the corner onto Groton Ave, it's the same principle on Groton Ave, the majority of those buildings are already used as residential. And you can't just say, okay, this one on Groton has residential, it's residential, now this one's not. We're gonna keep the central business, but this one right next door to it is residential, so we're gonna change it to an R4, that's spot zoning, you can't do that.
Can't do that, right?
So. Putting things ahead, thinking that there still are potential for business uses in an R4. And also the other areas around it are already R4, that was my thinking behind it, and if you notice, there are some that we changed to R2 as well. Because the areas immediately adjacent to those areas are R2.
So, you know,
I was
Yeah.
told
Say
about
that.
Argyle and,
Oh, and the Lincoln Ave,
the apartment.
yeah, funeral home, if that ever went up, that could be a personal or. It could be an office building, there's a couple other ones there, it could be. Also going back to the Y, without looking at it, I believe off the top of my head. Clubs and such are allowed in an R4 as well, so that could be, you know, they can maintain it used as a club too, so. The changes, yes, they're businesses, they've always been used as businesses, I'm just trying to open it up for other options, in case other.
so what's the difference between R2 and R4, the options that can go there? Maybe just looking.
The R2 ones are a little more,
So why would you limit Red Beard to that?
you don't wanna change Red Bid, I mean, I wanted to be consistent with the changes I was making. Cause again, I understand it's not on Main Street.
Right, I just don't wanna handcuff.
Again, understand, if he's gonna sell that as, funeral
It's
home,
gonna stay.
it's gonna stay the funeral.
So it's
That's not
really-
gonna,
It's not really limiting owners. It's
in fact, it's adding more use.
Yeah, what you're saying that that's a prime business location with the parking right there and everything, so right now if it goes to an R2.
You're limiting what they could sell it.
As, right,
But
I
again, they can still use it as a business, as long as it doesn't go vacant.
But I guess you're advocating more for an R4 and an R2 for that particular.
I guess that's my question, yeah, maybe give them a little more, and I don't know enough about the difference.
the difference between R2 and R4.
I would imagine that more businesses.
Yeah, that there are more that are allowed, but there still are businesses allowed in R2, I just don't have that truck.
Yeah, I've got it here, so, institutional purposes within residential districts. Place of worship, schools, public service utilities.
This is for,
Well, across all residential districts are permitted with special use permit. And actually, so clubs, lodges, etc. are expressly prohibited across all except R4. Ancillary parking expressly prohibited across all except 4. Parks, playgrounds authorized with special use permit, commercial purposes. Indoor lodging allowed with special permit in 3 and 4, not expressly prohibited in 1 and 2. Extended medical care facilities, personal and professional offices. Express and daycare centers expressly prohibited in 2.
So say that sentence again,
Yeah, so under commercial. Indoor lodging. Prohibited in 2, allowed with special use permit in 4. Extended care medical facility expressly prohibited in 2, allowed with special use permit in 4. And then personal or professional offices, medical offices, and daycare centers expressly prohibited in 2. And use by right in 4. Cemeteries allowed with special use permit in both. So that covers the institutional and commercial allowed by right or special use permit.
More flexibility for business in and on.
Definitely, I mean, so what does the owner of the property, I mean, do they have any say in? In this or not necessarily?
I'll defer to Randall on the general city law aspect of it, but we, so prior to any adoption by the county council, there'd be a public hearing with required notices going to property owners, adjacent property owners, as in abutting property owners, as well as across the street neighboring property owners. And there's provisions providing that if a certain percentage of any of those were to file petitions in rejection, then the threshold from a majority of the whole to a 3/4 of the council vote would be required. Pass it. So there's there's direct notification and opportunity for property owners and abutting and neighboring owners to object if they wish.
Right, and then, I mean,
All of these changes.
Currently, funeral parlors are not allowed in central business districts anyway. So, I don't know if right here,
They call it in.
is there no grandfather in already?
And nothing you do today will change their prior non-conforming use.
Right.
So they get to keep that. This isn't the fact.
No, I'm just saying, like, taking them to whatever other
And R4 and R2.
R4 or R2 isn't, they're still gonna be in the same situation essentially.
I don't think we're thinking about the current use of the property. We're thinking down the road of
If
the
they were to sell,
possible
what's
use
the
of
flexibility?
this, flexibility of that particular property. I mean, it's right next to what used to be the family counseling right now. It's the gym. There's a big parking lot right in that area. There's a large apartment directly across the street. So, I would see that more as an area that could have more of a bit, didn't need as much of a residential character as that one property. Everything else, I agree with. But I think we fight on this one as far as we switch this one to an R4 instead of.
That's not, they can make that recommendation on.
It's currently slated for an R2, right, Mike?
Well, with the change to B and R2, right,
that's in the proposal,
Right.
yeah,
in the proposal.
and I guess once they see it, they can push back harder on it, but I think flexibility wise, the R4 gives them a little more.
Well, that's what I was just thinking too.
And
And your recommendation can be that one be an R4.
Right.
Right.
I mean, and you may, I was just looking at the Google Earth map there, and it looks like the place across the street is probably already an R4, but non-conforming. So if you're gonna change the one to an R4, you might wanna change the one across the street to an R4 as well.
Yeah.
Then that.
Well, no. Not, you're talking about the one that's adjacent to the 6-story apartment building, right? Is what you're
The
looking at,
6-story apartment building, right?
or are you talking about the 6-story apartment?
Yeah.
that's the one, yeah, that's the big.
Well, I think that, as an R2, it fits as an R2, doesn't it? Because
That's a multi-unit right now, 6-story apartment building, and then you got another one right next to it, that's 6-8. 6-8 Lincoln. You got 20-something,
between the two of
two
them,
buildings, you have 20-something apartments.
yeah, I don't know who
So
it's
you couldn't
now,
do
but it
those
used
in
to be the
R2.
one that owned.
Okay,
The lady
that makes
told me.
it for me.
But you could in an R4.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, so it seems like.
So they're both pre-existing non-conforming, but they, if it was R4, they would be conforming uses, both of them.
So are you guys okay with a motion to accept this with the provision that we recommend those two, there's three parcels, there's three parcels, be switched to.
6-8 Lincoln is the same entrance.
Yeah, I think
So it's two parcels,
Oh, okay.
three buildings, yeah.
What about the small ones up on Maple? Is that the hairdresser? No, that's not the hairdresser.
No, they're just apartments.
And is
All right.
that,
I would make that motion, accepting this with the
6 and 8 Lincoln.
change the recommendation of 6-8 Lincoln and whatever address Right Bear Funeral Home is, to be R4 instead of R2.
All right, Brendan's made a motion, we need a second.
just have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead, Michael. So,
So down on South Main, there's some of the Outback units are R2, like the little blue chunks here, Frederick Ave and
Argyle,
Argyle.
yeah, they're all 1 or 2 units long.
Because they're limited to that, their size alone, right?
Yeah.
What they have, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And they're down the block, they're just right next to a residential, right? Without the parking that exists on Lincoln.
So, and just to clarify also the different, like lot requirements, they would become a pre-existing non-conformity in terms of lot sizes, setbacks, all of that, that they would still be entitled to that pre-existing exemption, correct? With the need to get an area,
They make changes.
if, correct, okay, yes, right.
And Roy, the place on Maple, that other R2, is that I don't know, that yellow county garage building that John Ryan used to own? Before he passed, or maybe his family still does? No, the one behind one in from the corner. No, it's not on the corner.
It's not the
Your hairdresser's around the corner, I can't remember what's behind there.
So 90.
Yeah, isn't that the old Perfetti, one?
Law offices at the corner, right?
I think it's on the corner of Madison.
That's fine, Madison.
Oh,
Okay.
Madison, yeah.
I'm just trying to picture that Maple one. I'm just going Google Maps.
Where's this?
Oh, no, sorry, that's not the place I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's gotta be.
There's.
Right. Yeah, no, I was thinking something else.
Different.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that as an R2.
But you wanna change, you wanna, well, I'm not changing.
Well, I don't wanna amend-
State your,
Okay, go back to my original motion, to, accept these recommendations or to make our suggestions. With the recommendation that, 6-8 Lincoln and, funeral home. is it
Nine Lincoln.
And 9 Lincoln be switched to from an R2, from the suggested R2 to a suggested R4.
Everybody got it done. All right, we need a second. I'd like to have a second, all right, further discussion. We're basically going along with this, just with those few modifications to Brendan product.
So that's.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, aye.
Oh, are you okay with that?
Yeah, fine, I just, truth be told, I missed it.
Oh, no, it's all right.
I was just looking at thinking of what the neighborhood's up.
Yeah.
Already zoned for, and I wasn't thinking about. The 6-8 Lincoln is already a multiple, why not be an R4?
Right,
Right,
Yeah.
we're just trying to
That's fine, we get it all.
You're
between
allowed.
us.
You're
Teamwork,
allowed.
up to speed.
teamwork.
So I think that's a great idea.
Mike seconded.
All right, Mike second, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor, say aye. All those opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carried. The last thing on our agenda is to approve the minutes from our May meeting, May 4th meeting. Any changes or corrections to the minutes from May last month? I did print out an extra copy, I don't know, I think I was trying to print out the agenda. Last month's meetings, but technology is a wonderful thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I have a motion to approve the minutes from our May meeting. I'll make that motion. All right, Jim, second.
Second.
Amy hasn't said anything on that, so we're good right here.
Yeah, she did, she.
We'll get you. All right, further discussion, all those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. All right, next meeting, just so you can look on the calendar, is July sixth. That was the first Monday in the month,
There's an R two, so.
July sixth.
Stop recording.
I'm sorry, what?
Maybe the stop recording.
Yeah, is there anybody else want to say anything? The recording, all right, I think